Welcome to Daily Tech Digest. So, first of all, it's a massive day for AI releases. Anthropic officially dropped Opus 4.6, and it's a new flagship model that we have been waiting for. And based on the sheer volume of discussions, over 700 comments on HN today, developers are scrambling to benchmark it. And it's not just a minor bump, the version number jump suggests significant architectural refinements under the hood. So there's going to be some news coming out in how it's getting used. Stay tuned here. Not to be outdone, OpenAI responded almost immediately with GPT-5.3 codecs. It seems to be a specialized release targeting heavy engineering workflows, so that's interesting for us. With over 1,200 points on Hacker News, this is currently community is locked in the debate comparing directly against the Opus release. And it's rare to see two Titan level releases land on exactly the same day. Um, so speaking of Opus 4.6 capabilities, Anthropic's engineering team posted a deep dive into how they're testing this new model. So they don't just ask it to write a function; they tasked agent teams of Opus instances to build a working C++ compiler. Um, this moves beyond just single prompt code generation or single shot into agent orchestration for complex systems engineering. And we're hearing some people actually use this, and you'll see how the billing works. It's pretty interesting because it's not just flat fee anymore. You can, um, you know, go over and over and over. Um, on the open source front, jQuist has viral post here arguing that OpenClaw is effectively what Apple Intelligence promised but hasn't fully delivered. Or some people say hasn't delivered at all. This post highlights how the open source community is iterating faster on local private AI integration than in the walled gardens. And it's resonating with users who want deep OS integration without sending telemetry to motherships. Moving on to the boring software is good software department. So Tiger Data here has a blog post that is tearing up the charts. Titled simply, "It's 2026, just use Postgres." So this is a pushback against the specialized vector store and niche database hype, arguing that 99% of use cases, even in AI era, in 99% of use cases, Postgres is still the correct engineering choice. Um, and it's interesting because there are actually solutions coming with Postgres. So, Microsoft, for example, released a bunch of plugins that basically turn it into a vector database. And there are other options too. So you can combine. So, here it's talking about this already. Comma.ai is back with provocative piece on infrastructure. The title says it all. Um, don't rent the cloud, own the cloud, or own your own stuff. They break down the economics of building out their own data center hardware versus paying for AWS or GCP. For companies running heavy compute loads, specifically model training, they argue the cloud rent is no longer sustainable. That could be true if you can get your hands on the actual accelerators. Uh, I'm gonna have to take a look what they actually purchased here. So for systems engineers out there, LWN has a feature on modernizing Linux swapping by introducing the concept of swap table. So this is a deep technical proposal aimed at overhauling how the kernel handles memory paging. It's an attempt to fix legacy inefficiencies in swap management that have persisted for decades, making memory overcommitment um, more performant. So this is highly technical article, and people are discussing what this actually means for server performance. Uh-oh. So this is gone. Moving on. This was top news with a bunch of negative comments, so possibly why it got removed. Um, this was a remote code execution vulnerability in AMD. Um, so we'll see how this turns out. We'll keep following this. This is a new GitHub repository that has surfaced, revealing that LinkedIn is scanning for exactly 2,953 specific browser extensions. The code analysis shows a massive fingerprinting effort targeting extensions that might scrape data or modify site experience. It's a stark reminder of the cat and mouse game between the web platforms and user-controlled browsers. Yeah, this is kind of just Chrome. Firefox is so much more. You can install so many things in Firefox compared to Chrome. Curious what they do there. Um, and finally, finally, for those who don't have a cluster of H100s in their basement, like we just talked about, we have Nanobot. It's trending as an ultra lightweight alternative to OpenClaw. So the project is gaining traction because it strips away the bloat, offering a highly efficient agent runtime that can run on consumer hardware. It's a great reminder that while models are getting bigger, the tooling to run them is also getting leaner. So that's pretty cool. All right, I'll see you next time.